Good morning, everybody. This is JD. This is to show you something that's very important. Get a hold of a copy of this book from the Heritage Foundation. You could find them www.heritagefoundation.com, and they'll send you a copy of this absolutely free. Get one. If you don't have a copy of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States, get one. Now, I'm making a video, and a serious video. I get a lot of emails every day. I mean, we're not talking about 20, 30, we're talking about hundreds of emails every day. And in these emails, people ask me questions. Mostly what comes across is they are pretty disgusted with the honesty that does not exist in our Congress, our government. I mean, we are finding out that congressmen and senators are not paying taxes. Really don't care about paying them. They pay a token share, but that's it. And of course they say, oh, we want to pay our fair share while they're robbing the country blind. A lot of rich people say, well, we want to pay our fair share, but we got most of our money tied up overseas, so we don't pay taxes. That's cheating, that's lying, that's whatever. But I see that a lot of you are upset, and you figure there is no way. That's right, there is no way to do it, to fix our government. Just disgusted with it. Well, what I am doing right now, and when I succeed, I will have accomplished, quote unquote, the impossible. It is impossible for the average, everyday American to get elected president. A man who didn't go to college, but has a lot of knowledge, had a problem with most college professors. They tend to think that they are all knowing in everything that they in their field. So if you disagree, you are an idiot. For example, a lot of philosophy professors make you study philosophy. And I say, if you study philosophy, you cannot be a philosopher. Because a philosopher is not a historian. A philosopher looks around at life and says, hey, this is what it is. If you're going to doggone repeat Plato, Socrates, and all the others, you're just a historian. They don't agree with that. How many times have you taken courses that college professors said, okay, these are the books the university says you got to have, but I wrote these books, so we're going to use my books. So you get his view of the subject, not the college's view. Again, all-knowing. Trying to brainwash you to become following lambs, because if you follow their instructions, they should not be able to require that, but you follow it. You learn in college to become a meek lamb. They teach you ideals they know won't work. It's been tried hundreds and hundreds of times in government, but they think they have the answer. And anybody who disagrees with them, well, they're morons and idiots. Well, unfortunately, the majority of the American people disagree. I find that you are very unhappy with our government and how crooked it is. You've heard promises upon promises upon promises. So, what makes me different? I mean, really, what is it that makes me different? We know now, by now, you all know I can do the job as president. I've had a lot of experience in leadership, especially while I was in the military. I also had a lot of experience at the bottom, so I know what it's like. I have a vast understanding of world economics, of our own economics, where we are weak and what we need to be done, what needs to be done. I have a considered an outstanding understanding of governmental procedures and how wrong our Congress is really going. But what makes me different than the rest? Something I say to people. If you fight against something and to beat it you use the same tactics, aren't you becoming what you're against? An example, I use this one mostly. Let's say you know a bank's going to get robbed. So to prevent the robbers from robbing the bank, you go in first and you take all the money out of the bank. It's not your bank, it's just a community bank. You may have every intention of putting the money back after the robbers, but they're not going to get a robber. But didn't you just become a robber? Aren't you now the same thing as those who you were trying to save the money from? Oh, but I'm different because I'm going to put it back. No, you are a robber. So, don't become a robber because the temptation to keep the money is too strong. So how am I different? I live by those guidelines. Of course, every day I pray to God to make my life, make my decisions as close to Jesus as humanly possible. I'm not perfect. I never will be. But with the help of God and the grace of God and the guidance of God, I will live a life in His light. Now, for you people who are atheists who don't like that idea, I don't have anything against you. I accept your beliefs. Because I don't have the right to force my beliefs upon you. Unlike some people in a certain Middle Eastern religion who believes they have the rights to force their beliefs. That's where they cross over the line. So, what am I trying to say here? Believe me or believe me not, that's your choice. But I will not, and I refuse to become like those before me. I will never be politically correct. That's a farce. Don't expect it out of me. You won't get it. I will never, never be crooked because money has no meaning. What I will leave my children is my heritage. Think of what I'm doing and the heritage that I'm going to leave a lot of Americans. Those have value to me. And the most important thing in my life, the very most important thing in my life, is my word. That I will not break. And I made 2 promises so far. One, from day one, I'm going to work on jobs, getting jobs into this country, getting manufacturing back into the United States. 2, your voice will be heard in Congress. And that will happen. I'm not going to tell you how right now, but we are going to make Congress sweat big time. Believe me, I already have it planned out. So, bottom line, you'll have to come to Washington on the day I'm inaugurated. March down that street with me. And then a little bit later on, we're all going to meet again in Washington for something very special. And the Tea Party that they had in Boston will be a footnote in history compared to what we're going to do. Yep, there's something we are going to do that's going to make the Tea Party look like a tea party. So believe me, there is a future for this country. And Congress will hear your voice. Don't get disgusted. We can do it. Don't get downhearted. There is a bright future ahead for us. Hey, look, there's no predictions after 2012. It's a whole new world, and we're going to make it great. Thank you. This is JD. Remember, as president in January of 2013, a whole new era. You all have a nice day. This is JD, and believe me, we will do it. Don't become so negative. We have a future if you are willing to take it. Have a nice day. This is JD.